So you take another example. A cylinder of radius r and weight W is to be raised against a step of height h by applying a horizontal force. Horizontal force F at its center as shown in the figure, full stop. Find the minimum magnitude of force. Find minimum magnitude of force. Assume sufficient friction between the cylinder and the corner of the step. To prevent slipping. Okay. So this is the diagram. So there is a cylinder of radius r. C is the center of the cylinder. Minimum horizontal force required for this cylinder. The steps is there. So let h be the height of the step. So this cylinder is obstructed by step. So this is the step. Okay. This is h. This height of the step is h. Okay. H. Clear? So you take this. So we are discussing applications of torque. How this torque is applied, as the torque is force into perpendicular distance. It causes rotatory motion to an object, okay, about a point. Now we are going to discuss applications based on this. Okay. Now there is a cylinder. Now listen. So there is a cylinder. The weight of the cylinder, let it be W, which acts from center, weight of the cylinder. Okay. And this normal reaction acts upwards. Okay. This is the normal reaction. So this is the horizontal force. So at this corner this what is the required horizontal force about this corner? Okay, what is the minimum horizontal force which is acts from center? Find the minimum magnitude of this horizontal force required so that this cylinder to be raised against this step. So for raising this cylinder, you have to apply this torque. So torque of this about this point of this force, torque is equal to force into perpendicular distance. Okay, what is the minimum force required? So when the step is, this cylinder is about to rise, this normal reaction will becomes a 0. Okay, so only weight and F will last. So solution, when cylinder is about to rise, normal reaction N becomes 0. So the torques, so the only two forces acting on the cylinder, that is weight and F only. So weight and F only, then only two forces acting on the cylinder, W and F. Okay, so this normal reaction becomes 0. Now you write the torques of these forces about this point O. This is about the corner of this step. So write torques. So torques about torques of the forces of the force about the corner. So I take this corner as a fixed point. This corner let it be A. Okay, this is C. So corner, name of the corner is A. So torques of the forces about the corner A. Okay, I will take this torque. So force into perpendicular distance. So about this torque is, this is H, this is R, radius of the cylinder. So this distance is R minus H, perpendicular distance. So about this point. So torque is F into R minus H. That is about this. This torque is clockwise torque of this force. This force produces clockwise torque about this point. This torque, weight, this one becomes 0, and the torque of W about this point. W into this force perpendicular distance is this distance. A, C, I will write this one is the B. So BC is perpendicular distance. So this AC becomes R. Okay, AC becomes R. This distance becomes R minus H. Then this one, use Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so clockwise torques, anti-clockwise torques, F, anti-clockwise torque. I will write it separately. This is clockwise torque. So clockwise torque is equal to what is clockwise torque about the corner? Clockwise torque is F, that is F force into perpendicular distance about this point is BC, F into BC, that is F into R minus H. Okay, that is clockwise torque. Anti-clockwise torque. Anti-clockwise torque. Torque produces rotatory motion to the object. So that is F into this way torque. That is W into AB. That is anti-clockwise torque. So this torque will produce like this, about this point. So when you are writing this torque of this W about this point, you take this point is fixed. Because of this force, the body object will rotate like this. Okay, it will be like this. So this is anti-clockwise torque. So that force into torque is force into perpendicular resistance about A is AB. So W into AB. So to raise the cylinder, to raise the cylinder against step is equal to F into this is to raise the cylinder against the step, F into required condition, F into BC, that is R minus H, should be greater than or equal to W into AB. Okay, I will write AB. So in this triangle, this is R minus H, this is CB, this is A. So I want AB. So AB is equal to under root Pythagoras theorem, AC square minus BC square. That is AC square is R square minus BC square. BC square is R minus H whole square. Okay. So this is AB. So for the cylinder to rise against the step, this torque F into R minus H, this is torque balances with this torque. So this torque produces clockwise moment to this cylinder. This torque will produces anti-clockwise moment to the cylinder. Under equilibrium, these two torques will be equal. If this torque magnitude will be more, then this cylinder will rise. Okay, it will slip because here is friction, sufficient friction. Without slip, this cylinder rise to the step. Okay, so this should be greater. So this is the required condition. So F minimum is equal to, minimum value should be equal to W into AB. What is AB? AB is square root of R square minus R minus H whole square by R minus H. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay, you take this. So this is the required condition. Suppose the radius, example, suppose radius of the cylinder is 5 centimeters. This is 2 centimeters. This is 2, this will become 3. So 2, 3, 4. So this height is 3 centimeters. Then this will becomes, this is 3 centimeters, this is 2. This will become 5. This is 5, this is 3, then this will become 4. Okay, this will become 5. Okay, Pythagoras theorem. So I assumed this one is 5 centimeters, h is 3 centimeters, I assumed. Then r minus h is 2 centimeters. This is 2, this will become 3. Yeah, if this is 2, this is 2, this will become 3 centimeters. I take h is 2 centimeters. This is 3 centimeters. If this is 5, this is 3, then this will become 4 centimeters. Okay, from Pythagoras theorem. So in that example, then F minimum is equal to, then F minimum is equal to, that is square root of r square minus h whole square. BC is 4 by r minus x, r minus h is 3. So this is 4 by 3 of weight. So the minimum force should be 4 by 3 of its weight. Okay, take this example. That is the answer. Suppose weight is 10 kgs. This is weight is 10 kg. So let it be 30 kg weight. 30 means 30 by 10, 10 into 40, 40 kg. Suppose if weight is 30 kgs or 30 grams, 30 kg, then F is equal to how much it requires? 30 by 3, 10. 10 into 40 kgs. So minimum force required is 40 kgs. Okay, this is one example. Take this. The one more application is regarding torques. Okay. So we are discussing torques applications. Okay, torque concept. To understand this torque, I will give one more application, that is toppling. Toppling means tilting the body. So toppling. Toppling concept. So a body topples. Topples means overturns. Okay. Suppose in which case a body has topple. So a body has translatory motion and a body has a translatory motion or rotatory motion. That depends upon point of application of force, magnitude of the force and the point of application of the force. That means where this force is acting on the body. Let us take this example. Okay, suppose there is a chances of suppose there is a object like this. Suppose there is an object like this. So it is placed like this. So its base is B, height is H. Suppose this is the case A. The same object and it will be placed like this. Okay, it is H, this is B. Same object will be placed like this. Now the force will be applied like this. Now the force is applied like this. So this is F is applied force. Applied force. So let us assume this body is in translatory motion. This is the minimum force to cause motion. That means this applied force causes motion. That should be minimum force is, it should be equal to frictional force. That is equal to mu m. That is equal to mu mg, where m is mass of the object. So the minimum force required to move this object is mu m. That means there is sufficient friction. Depending upon this application of force, where it is acting, the body may have chances of toppling. Suppose this object at the time of toppling, it topples about the corner. it tuples about the corner. Suppose if something is obstructed here, then this, because of this force, this object will turns like this. Suppose you fix this one, when the object is moving, something is obstructed at this point, then what happens? This object has a tendency to topple, isn't it? Because of this torque about this point. At the time of toppling, the normal reaction of this object passes through at the edge, at the corner. Actually, normal reaction passes through the center actually, and it balances with the weight of the object, as we studied here. Suppose the object will be placed here. How this object will be placed like this? So weight, what are the forces acting on it? Weight acting vertically downwards, and the normal reaction acts vertically upwards. This is a horizontal surface. Okay, horizontal surface, as I discussed earlier. Okay, I discussed earlier like this. This normal reaction acts from center, and the weight of the objects acts from center. Under equilibrium, these two forces are equal and balanced with each other. Okay, under the normal instant, this normal reaction passes through this at the center. When the object is about to topple, the normal reaction, when object is about to topple, normal reaction passes through the point of toppling, passes through the point of toppling, that is about the corner. I assumed that this corner, let it be P. Okay, so these are the some important points you have to remember. What is that? When the object is about to topple, normal reaction passes through the point of toppling. In the diagram I shown with the letter P, that is about the corner, when it is about to topple. Okay, so in which case the object has more chances of toppling. In the first case, it has about more chances of toppling. It is quite natural, as it is seen this from this diagram, we can say easily. So from the diagrams here I will ask one question. In which case object is about to topple, in which case object has more chance to topple. Okay, in which case object has more chances to topple? That is the question. For this question, answer is, we can say that A. So in case A, this is the case B. Object has more chances topple. As the height increases, it may be chances of toppling will be more. As the height will be less, the chances of toppling will be less. Okay. Now here the next case is when it is about to topple. Okay. So when it is about to topple, the motion of the object whether it has translatory or rotatory, the motion of an object, whether it has translatory or rotatory, that depends on point of application of force, that means where the force acts on the object, that is called point of application of force. Suppose the object force is acting from top, then this is the point of application of force. Suppose the force is applied here, then this is the force maybe acts from here. Force may acts from center of gravity also. Okay? In translatory motion, if force acts from center of gravity, then the body has pure translatory motion. That I explained in center of mass. The concept of center of mass is introduced to understand the motion, translatory motion. So what I said, when a external force acts at center of mass, that is entire mass of the body is supposed to be concentrated at a point. For small and regular shaped bodies, center of mass and center of gravity lies at the same point, that is at its geometric center. So if external force acts at the center of mass, the body undergoes pure translatory motion. Clear? But the body may have translatory motion, but the body may have rotatory motion also. So whether the body has translatory motion or rotatory motion, how you can decide? That depends upon the point of application of force and magnitude of force. Okay? Depends on point of application of force and magnitude of force. Okay? I will write here. And magnitude of force. On these two things, the motion of the object depends. Okay? So, to cause motion, minimum force to cause motion is to cause translatory motion, minimum force is, according to it should be greater than or equal to frictional force. Otherwise object cannot slide. So minimum force is equal to frictional force, that is mu n, that is equal to mu mg. Okay? Where m is mass of this object. Now, when the object is about to topple, so you write the torques. So when object is about to topple, what happens? This force about to topple, this torque, see, frictional force, torque, friction will act like this, applied force like this. These two are balanced, that is it is in translatory equilibrium because these two forces are balanced, and normal reaction acts like this, and weight always acts vertically downwards. So this distance I take it as b. So this one becomes b by 2, half of this width. Okay? So this is about the point P, point of toppling P. This is a horizontal surface. So this distance is b. So I want to try to torque about this point. The torque of this normal reaction, how much? It is 0 because it is passes through this point. So perpendicular distance of this force about this point is 0. Perpendicular distance is 0. Torque of this friction is 0. So torque only, force and weight are left. This torque will produces clockwise motion, this torque will produce as anti-clockwise. Under equilibrium, these two forces will balance. Okay, if this torque exceeds F into this height, let it be h. I take this one is a h. This is the point of coupling. Okay, so this force into h torque, that is clockwise torque, should be, if it is greater than W into this torque of this weight, W into B by 2, force into perpendicular distance. This distance is B by 2. This total I assumed it as B. So this distance is B by 2. So when object is about to topple, anti-clockwise torque, that is clockwise torque should be greater than or equal to anti-clockwise torque. Anti-clockwise torque. Okay, so clockwise torque is F into h. Torque is force into perpendicular distance, that is F into h, should be greater than or equal to clockwise, anti-clockwise torque of this weight is W into B by 2. Force into perpendicular distance is B by 2. So if this is satisfied, then the object is, when the object is about to topple, when this condition is satisfied. Okay, so minimum force should be equal to weight into B by 2h. Okay, this is the minimum force required to object to topple. Okay, what is B? Breadth of the object. What is height? Height of the object. So for without toppling, this height h, for more, this B should be more, and h should be less. So if h is more, this value will be minimum. That means for small amount of force it will topple. Suppose the big object will move like this. If you apply a little amount of force, if height is more, then it will topple. So there may be more chances of toppling if h will be more and B should be less. So what we can conclude, if h is more and B is less, h is more, B is less, then there is more chances of toppling. So this is the explanation for this question. Okay, to which case the object has more chances of toppling? Answer A. So if h is more, B is less, then there will be more chances of toppling. For without toppling, this h should be, B should be less and h should be more. That's why for the vehicles height should be less and base should be more. For bus, height should be less, base should be more, buses. Then chances of toppling will be less. For a double decker bus, height will be more. For a double decker bus, height will be more than ordinary bus. So then it has more chances of toppling. That's why double decker buses are not success, okay, in the roads. That is the reason. Okay. So what is the minimum value of, in the same case, what is the minimum value of F? Suppose here I will write Suppose there is another question under that. Find condition, find the condition for what value of mu object will tuple. Okay, find the condition for what value of mu, minimum value of mu object. What is mu? Coefficient of friction. Mu, coefficient of friction, will tuple. Okay, what is the condition? So instead of F, I am writing F should be equal to, for translatory motion, F is equal to mu n. So what is mu? Instead of F, I am writing mu mg. So Fh is greater than or equal to m into b by 2. So this is a clockwise torque. If it is more than anti-clockwise torque, the object is about to tuple. Okay, so instead of F, we are writing mu n, that is mu mg into h should be greater than, the weight means mg, into b by 2. So mg get cancelled. So mu should be greater than or equal to b by 2h. So if this condition is satisfied, object will have a chances of tupling. If mu is equal to greater than or equal to b by 2h, if this is the condition, okay, object may tuple. This mu depends upon nature of the surfaces. We can't change that. Okay, it depends upon nature of the surfaces. So we can change only b and h. So for without tupling, this b by 2h value should be less than or equal to mu. Okay. So if this condition mu greater than or equal to b by 2h, object may tuple. Okay, that is the condition. Okay, this is for horizontal surface. Suppose the same object, if it is on the inclined plane, suppose the object is placed on the inclined plane. Let theta be the angle of inclination. Theta be the angle of inclination. So this object will slide. So because of this slide, mg sin theta should be, frictional force acts in this direction. Okay. So this normal reaction, when it is about to tuple, it will passes through corner. N will be like this. So the weight, it is at the time of tupling, this weight should passes through this about the point of tupling P. Okay. So this is the critical state. Okay. The center of gravity and this point of tupling will be in a vertical straight line. Okay, and this is the vertical line. Let h be the height of the object. Okay, b be the base of the object. Okay, as usual. So I assumed h is height of the object as usual. B is base of the object. base of the object, that is on the inclined surface. Okay, this is the toppling on inclined surface, inclined surface, inclined surface. Okay, inclined surface, mg sin theta. So the object has a tendency, the object has tendency to slide before toppling. Okay, when before toppling, mg sin theta should be greater than or equal to frictional force. If this condition is satisfied, then object slides. So it will slides. So mg sin theta should be greater than or equal to F frictional force mu n. So that is mu n. In case of inclined plane, it is mg cos theta. Okay, so it is mg sin theta. mg get cancelled. You will get tan theta is equal to, should be greater than or equal to mu. So object has a tendency to slide before toppling when tan theta is greater than or equal to mu. Okay, so the object has a tendency to topple before slide. Okay, so without sliding, it may be chances of toppling the object. So it's the torque, you take the torques. So when the torque, you write the torques about the point of toppling. So I will write torques about the point of toppling, that is P. That point I assumed it as torques about the point of toppling. So if this is the torque, this is one torque about this point, this torque will produce as anti-clockwise motion. This torque, frictional force torque, will become 0 because it passes through point P. This force passes through the point P. So the torque produced by this friction about this point is 0. Then torque of this normal reaction about this point is also 0 because it passes through this point P. Now there is only this torque and weight of the torque. This is weight of the torque is, this is mg cos theta. So this component becomes mg cos theta. So torque of this mg cos theta about this point, force into perpendicular distance, width of the object is b, half of that is b by 2. So this torque is, what is this torque? Anti-clockwise torque, anti-clockwise torque, torques about the point of toppling, anti-clockwise when it is about to topple, anti-clockwise should be greater than or equal to clockwise torque. Okay, I will take this space. Anti-clockwise torque is mg sin theta about this point into perpendicular distance h by 2 should be greater than or equal to torque of this mg cos theta into b by 2. So mg cos theta into b by 2. So 2 get cancelled, h and tan theta should be greater than or equal to b by h. So when this condition is satisfied, the object is about to topple. Okay, the object has a tendency to topple before slide. So we can conclude that from these 2 points, so instead of b by h, if it is tan theta, if it is equal, so if mu greater than or equal to b by h, the object has tendency to topple. So if it is h will be more, mu should be less. So b should be more, h should be less. Then object has a tendency to topple. Okay, object has tendency to topple. So you take this. So here I am discussing this. So the cylinder, so the object, if mu greater than or equal to b by h, the object has a tendency to topple. If it is less than that, the object will have a tendency to slip. This condition greater, if it is mu less than b by h, object has tendency to slide. Okay, if mu value less than b by h, object has a tendency to slide. If mu greater than b by h, object has a tendency to topple. Okay, so these are the conditions of toppling. Okay, you take this. Okay, you take this. These are the few applications of torques. So I discussed a few applications regarding torque, about this toppling and clockwise torques, rotational equilibrium. In all these I used the concept of torque. These are the few applications of torque. Okay, you take it.